Hello guys, it's me, Greed here. Today I want to talk about the September 16th, 2025 retail patch notes for Overwatch 2, and let me tell you, I am disappointed. Starting off nice and easy with Hazard, damage reduction reduced from 65% to 60% on Spiked Guard, and Violent Leap damage reduced from 80 to 70. So I'm already a Hazard hater, I'm pretty sure everyone already knows that, so I'm pretty happy with these nerfs. Personally, I would have hit him harder. I don't think these are big enough to really change much. He's still going to be the super overpowered cheese cannon that he is, he's still going to be broken, he's still going to be block bot. So although it doesn't fix any of the problems, it definitely gets us closer to solving them, which I think is better than nothing. So up next is Ramattra. Bonus armor increased from 250 to 275 when activating Nemesis form. So, I don't like the direction they're taking this character. Now, obviously, they've tied themselves into quite a tricky position with their commitment to 5v5, so they kind of need to make him a sustained bot that gains a bunch of armor and stuff. But I personally would have preferred something like Junker Queen-esque or more Reinhardt-esque, where you're more enabled to press W and go aggressive with Nemesis form, and the staff form just be a poking tool for your downtime, not kind of your main thing where you use the Nemesis form strictly for survival. I think it makes the character quite boring and bland when he could have such an interesting gameplay loop revolving around his very aggressive Nemesis form and his very passive staff form, where he's very diveable in staff form, and that would be because Nemesis form wouldn't give you any armor in my ideal world, because it would be the drawback necessary to have the extremely aggressive and powerful Nemesis form that enabled him to walk forward and actually take aggressive fights, instead of being a infinite sustained poke bot like he is right now. But they're balancing for 5v5, so what can you do? Next up, Roadhog. Scrap gun, primary and secondary fire, critical multiplier increased from 1.5 to 2 times, and take a breather, resource regeneration rate increased from 10 to 12.5 per second. Now, this is probably a part of the video that some people were quite excited for or were waiting for, and it's obviously the Roadhog section. Now, if you've been watching for a while, you know I absolutely despise this character. He is a cancer on the game that needs to be carved out of it. He needs to go. He doesn't have a single redeemable factor. He does not improve the gameplay experience to play with him on your team or to play against him. Even playing as him can feel like cancer, because there are a lot of cases where you just kind of get blown up because you get counterpicked so hard. But in the cases that you're not counterpicked, you're kind of just unbeatable because you're a 600 odd HP super tank that gets to walk around one-shotting everything. The best way I can describe it is, if you are on Roadhog, if you jump around the corner and randomly throw your hook, one of two things is either going to happen. You're either going to hit someone and instantaneously win the fight for killing them, or you won't hit someone and then you can try again in however long the cooldown is, 6, 7, 8 seconds, right? How is that the character? You either instantly win or you try again. It is AIDS. I hate this fucking hero. I despise them. Now, the other thing is, Roadhog was already really good. There was really nothing about Hog that was bad. After he was reverted, I guess, to his original state prior to Pigpen, he was pretty good. Now, obviously, they buffed him a little bit because the shitter gold players couldn't use him, which, you know, fair enough. And then he was really good. Dare I say, game-breakingly good. And now we're buffing him again for some reason. Now, obviously, I know why they're doing this. His win rate and pick rate look like shit. However, I have a lot of videos that already go over win rates and pick rates and how they are corrosive to game balance and how they blind you from the reality of it. No one on the dev team is able to analyze the game to a high level. None of them understand the game to a high level. None of them can play the game to a high level. None of it. And those are important factors for balancing your game. If you don't know why something is strong or how it interacts with other things to make it strong, or why people play it or why it's fun or whatever, if you don't know those things, how are you expected to balance it properly? Honestly, I don't expect them to balance it properly. That's fine. If you're gonna be shitty at your job, though, at least admit it. At least say, yes, we balance purely off win rates and pick rates, because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Because they don't know what they're doing. The reality of it is, you could pick basically any high-level Overwatch player that understands the game to a high level. Usually a coach, think Relf, me, Spylo, or even like someone like Didact from Relf's Discord. If you picked any of these people and gave them a month, they could absolutely bring this game to the best balance state it's ever had. Guaranteed. That is a promise. And it's not even a promise, it's a fact. It's a guaranteed fact. Because all of the people mentioned actually understand the game to a high level and can dissect why things are strong. Why does it have a high pick rate? Why does it have a high win rate? Why do those two things mean absolutely fucking nothing? Right? The devs don't know that. The balance team don't know that. They just see number on spreadsheet and change number because number is whatever it is. It's not 50% win rate, so we change it, right? The reality is, the Overwatch balance team is so dramatically shit at their job that you could give it to ChatGPT and I guarantee it does a better job, because at least ChatGPT is capable of using the internet to find reliable resources that are able to analyze the game to a high level. ChatGPT can look that up and gain some kind of understanding on how to balance the game properly. The devs don't do that, so the balance is shit, and then we have this, which is turbo buffing Roadhog, because it is what it is. Now, anyway, there are a lot of things in this patch notes that I don't really give a shit about. Now, a lot of them are dumb changes, and a lot of them aren't, but I'm just going to talk about two more changes after this that I think are particularly bad. Next up on the worst balance patch I've ever seen, we have Widowmaker. Grappling hook cooldown reduced from 12 to 10 seconds. Venom Mine total damage increased from 75 to 125. Now, obviously, I fucking despise this character. I fucking hate Widowmaker with a passion. I hate them. The design is genuinely atrocious, and they should be locked away in a vault somewhere to be studied in 1,000 years when we've evolved past this level of retardation. That is when you can break out Widowmaker to go, wow, we need to analyze what early humans were like. This is what we were like. We were making fucking Widowmaker, who can one-tap you from across the earth, and who already had an extremely powerful cooldown, being Grappling Hook, obviously. It was one of the best escape abilities in the game. But now, not only is it one of the best escape abilities in the game, it's also got a shorter cooldown. Why? Because the devs balance off win rates and pick rates, because they are fucking idiots. You make an extremely oppressive design that leads to the character being banned permanently, and in the only case they're not banned is when they're played on a map that's not super good for them. Therefore, their win rate is lower, therefore you buff them based on their lower win rate, because of the fact they're actually so strong that they are overly banned, because they are so strong. Therefore, you're buffing an extremely powerful character because they are banned more, so you can make them more playable on other maps. It is fucking brain dead. It is actually brain dead. This should tell you, oh, actually, yeah, maybe the character we've made is so incompatible with existence in our video game that we need to change them. Nope. What they managed to draw from is the fact that our character is banned so often because they're so overpowered that we need to give them more escape options so they're more playable on maps that aren't sniper maps. It is an inconceivable level of brain damage. This is the shittiest dev team I've ever seen in terms of game balance. It is fucking atrocious. Genuinely, sit for 1 second. Anyone here, whether you're top 500, a professional coach, a fucking gold player, a dad that plays the game for 30 minutes, genuinely try to tell me there was any thought process put behind this change. It is fucking ridiculous. And combine it with the fact there's a perk in the game that means when you shoot people, your grappling cooldown is lower. So that perk's even better, because now that perk influences your cooldown by a higher percentage than it did previously. So that's an ultra buff as well. It is just, I can't, genuinely, I'm lost for words. It is poke slop. All the videos I made talking about the devs only balance off win rates and pick rates. They love poke slop. They hate everything else. They don't like brawl, they don't like hybrid comps, they don't like dive comps, nothing. They only like poke, and they only balance off win rates and pick rates because they are fucking brain dead. It's all coming true. I predicted this for years. I said for years this is what they do. No, Greed, you're wrong. No, Greed, you're wrong. No, you're so dumb. That's not what they did. And yet, here I sit, correct again. Again, I am correct where we're buffing Widowmaker in 2025. Inconceivable. It is. Anyway, I love you all. On to probably the worst change in the whole patch. Genji. Deflect cooldown increased from 8 to 10 seconds. Right, this balance change solidifies for me that the Overwatch dev team is full of apes. Chimpanzees, monkeys, absolute fucking buffoons, okay? Because the cooldown has been 8 seconds for 10 years. Now, Genji has had many changes done to deflect. He's had the hitbox change. He's had the duration changed. He's had it so he can manually cancel it in times where he couldn't manually cancel it. He's had different durations of it. He's had all sorts. And you could have balanced it in any way to keep the character's flow intact. Anyway. Now listen, if you want to nerf Genji, fine. Fine. Listen, the character's fucking shit. I don't care what anyone says. The character is not good. Is the hero really strong when they pair them with Hazard and you play dash melee bot? Absolutely. Enjoy your symptom of 5v5, bro. Fantastic. But when the character originally was played and he was a 6v6 hero and he was a solo play character that was meant to go off and actually duel people and assassinate and flank and do more solo play, he was given more tools because he was meant to be isolated from his team, which is why he was such a short range character. Which is specifically why I said buffing his range is fucking retarded because it goes against the core fundamentals of the character. And so does lowering the ammo because it lowers his uptime, therefore it lowers his duel ability, therefore it makes him more team reliant, and the more team reliant you make him, the more brain dead he becomes, and the more reason you have to nerf him because the more he has to rely on his supports, therefore he has less solo play. It is fucking brain dead. I've explained this so many times, right? But back to deflect. So, what you could have done is a multitude of things. You could have said, okay, yeah, we got to nerf the deflect, which is fucking brain dead because it's not his problem. But sure, touch the only part of his kit that isn't even remotely problematic, right? What you could have done is just made it so that the deflect, instead of being 2 seconds long, was 1.5 seconds long, or 1.25 seconds long, or 1 second long, or anything. You could have done fucking anything other than break the flow of the character. Why? It's been like that for 10 years. Do you know why the cooldowns have matched for 10 years? It's specifically because that is how the character is meant to flow. You are meant to use all of your cooldowns together, and you are meant to be rewarded for using them together because they were the same length. So even if you fucked one of them up, you had the other one available because they cycled together. Now they don't cycle together, meaning he has more downtime, which means he has more poke, which means he becomes more brain dead, which means he becomes more of the character that you dislike. It is the fucking epitome of brain dead. The devs genuinely have no fucking idea what they're doing. And the people calling for the balance changes, the people that say this is a good change, also don't even know what the fuck they want either. Because the thing you are specifically desiring goes against what you want. This makes the character more brain dead, slower paced, more poke based, meaning the only time you're ever going to get in a duel with this character is when he has a 95% chance to win and he's diving with 17 other characters on his team. Gone are the days of solo play Genji because he was balanced out of existence. He was nuked, and yet I guarantee people are going to adapt to this playstyle with a deflect being nuked, and they're going to go, you know what, this is worse for Genji, but I can still play him slightly because Genji players can adapt because they're pretty good at the game, usually. The more difficult to play characters have better player bases. That's why Winston players, Ryan players, Lucio players, Tracer players, Genji players, and so on are among the best players in the game, right? That is just how it is. So when the Genji players naturally adapt to this change, all of the fucking idiots that called for this are going to go, wow, dude, I never get a chance to fight him. He just dash melees me to death all the time. He's not, he just walks around with this Hazard all day. This is literally what you fucking wanted. This is what you wanted. This is why I get mad, because none of these people understand game balance. They don't know any of it. They don't know game design, none of it. They're all dumb. And I fucking guarantee this change will come back to make the game worse for the people that don't like playing against Genji. You're going to enjoy playing against Genji less after this change because of the way it's going to break his playstyle and the way he's going to be required to adapt so his character becomes playable. Yet, he was nerfed on the pretense that it is a 5v5 game and that the super tank was too overpowered and Genji was good at following up. So we move to 5v5, we create a super tank, the super tank becomes good at isolating someone, therefore they become really good at setting up a Genji. So instead of going, hey guys, what's the difference? He was fucking wank in 6v6, why is he so broken in 5v5? Instead of being able to piece things together and go, guys, maybe the shit format with the shit super tank slot that's good at nuking a character in a second, maybe that is causing Genji to be a little bit more oppressive because he can follow up. Nah, wouldn't be that. We're incapable of making mistakes. It must be Genji. Let's nuke him. Oh, wow, he's more poke-based and now he needs to rely on his team even more, so he's doing it even more than he was before. So players can't go off and do solo play, therefore he has to walk around with the super tank more, which means he needs to get nerfed more. Oh my goodness, dude, the people that want this change are brain dead, the devs are brain dead, it is what it is, right? I'm gonna preach to the choir all day, right, because I know there's people out there that watch the video, and they're able to come to these conclusions on their own, they can understand it, right, but there's so many people that don't get it, and that's why I make the video, right? This is why I made this video. This is why I'm ranting as hard as I am. It's because I need people to understand, especially the balance team. You are all idiots, but you can be saved. You can be saved. And listen, I'm an idiot too. I'm not saying I'm perfect or a genius. I'm a dumbass. I am a dumbass. I get it, right? But you are more dumbass. You are dumbasser, okay, than I am. I'm a dumbass, you're dumbasser, okay? That's just how it is. And watch, I guarantee, mark my fucking words, come back in a year's time when Genji is even worse than he is now in terms of relying on his tank to actually do anything. He's going to be less of a solo player, I guarantee it. This character is fucking nuked. Get ready for Pokebot. Get ready for more Poke Slop. It's the only thing Overwatch actually likes anymore. If you want to play a character other than a Poke character, you can go fuck yourself. I love all of you. I hope you have a good day. Mwah. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye.